This video is going to be Derby Day logistics, and we're going to do some answering of some questions that we've been getting a lot of the last couple days. So first of all, some Derby Day stuff. 8 a.m. is when check-in starts, right at Derby Village where we always are. You only need to send one person from your fishing party up to check in and get a bump board. We don't need to see every Derby participant check in. Check-in is just to get your bump boards. We have official Healthy Lake bump boards for this Derby. You cannot use your own bump board, so you have to come get a bump board from us. We're assigning bump boards with, we're tracking them with numbers. So we'll assign a bump board or two to you depending how many people you're fishing with, and then at the end of the Derby you have to come return those to us before you leave. If we have some that aren't returned, we'll be contacting those people following the Derby to get those back. The bump boards were quite a large investment for us, so we need to have them returned to us. If your bump board is bent or out of square, don't use it. Bring it back to us and we'll give you a better one. You don't want to use a bent bump board in your photos, your fish photos, or you could risk being disqualified. We have a southern boundary that will be set up from Manhattan Point across the lake. There'll be flags so you'll know where it is. Please don't fish right on the line or really, really close to it. Just be on the safe side and fish north of that boundary, please. We're going to have some internet set up at the Derby Village, so in a scenario, everything should be fine everywhere in the Northern Basin in terms of cell service. Where you're fishing, you should be totally good. But in a scenario where for some reason you can't pick up a cell signal, or your fish aren't uploading, or you can't even, get into the tournament on the Fish Donkey app, come up to Derby Village. We'll temporarily connect you to our internet and we'll get you on your way. Might be a good idea to bring some battery phone charges, some battery backup phone charges, the portable ones. So if you have some of those at home, charge them up and bring them. Using cell phones outside with an app, taking pictures and videos, your phones are going to die a lot quicker than normal. So if you've got some sort of way of charging them during the Derby, that's a really good idea. You don't want to get, 3/4 of the way through the Derby and have your phone die and have no way to charge it quickly, in case you catch that big fish. We'll talk a little bit about sharing devices. So Fish Donkey app is really not designed to be logging in and out of one device with multiple users. We've talked about this before. It's in the Derby guide. It's just a matter of fact. It's not ideal for our Derby, and we know that, but we didn't have another choice this year other than not having a Derby at all. So we're having to work around it. You can register multiple people by, registering someone, logging out, and then registering another person, logging out, on and on. But when you're at the Derby and you're fishing, you want to be logged in and stay logged in. There can be some major issues if if your fish are in your digital live well and haven't finished uploading, and you try and log out because someone else in your party has caught a fish and they want to log in and enter it under their name. You're going to have a bad experience, most likely, if you try fishing with multiple users and one device logging in and out. We just don't recommend it. Fish Donkey does not recommend it. So if you can, everyone should have their own device, whether that's a cell phone or a tablet, if you can put the app on a tablet or something. If you have a family with kids or something and they don't have a device and you can't borrow one for the day for them to have their own device, some families are going to just record all of the fish that they catch as a group under one person's name. That's a personal choice. If you want to do that, you can. The only catch to that is every person that's fishing has to have purchased a Derby ticket. You can't have people fishing in your group if they aren't registered. You can't have them fishing in your group if you are participating in the Derby. It's just a rule that we've had to make to keep everything fair for everybody. If anyone has any questions about that, feel free to email me, info@healthylake.ca, or give us a call in the next day or two and I can kind of walk through the logic of that with you. if you're registered for the Derby and you're in a situation where you don't have enough devices for everybody, I can walk you through the options that you have if you want a bit of a refresher. The other thing is that you'll want to make sure when you're entering a fish that it's your device that's being used to take pictures of you with your fish so that it ends up under your name. If you're fishing with a friend and you each have your own cell phone that you're logged into, you don't want your friend to take a picture of you and your fish and try and enter it, because then it's going to end up under their name. That seems obvious, but in the excitement of catching a big fish, you want to make sure you're using the correct device to take a picture of the angler and the fish, to enter the fish, so that it ends up under the correct angler's name. And I think that's it for today. If anyone has any questions, email us, call us. We're happy to answer them. Go back and watch the other videos. Get yourself really familiarized with the app before the Derby. If you haven't practiced with the app or aren't familiar with how to enter a practice fish and you try and do it for the first time at the Derby, you might run into some troubles. Even if you're a tech-savvy person, it's really worth it just to play around with it and kind of get a good idea of how it works. And yeah, go back and watch those other videos. See you on Saturday.